Hi everyone, my name is Brianna Nottingham. For this project, I will be reviewing the Bridges Math Learning Make Change mini unit. Bridges Math Curriculum is a paid math program that many schools choose to adopt. However, mini units like this one are available for free download for educators. The Make Change mini unit is created by the Math Learning Center, created and funded through the National Science Foundation. The mission of this organization is to inspire and enable individuals to discover and develop their mathematical confidence and ability. As a former third grade teacher, I knew that counting and making change was an important skill for students to master. But most importantly, that students have a true understanding of this skill and the conceptual understanding needed so they can have this foundation for a lifetime of learning. Here is the Making Change mini unit, again, part of the Bridges Breakout Collection. This mini unit is designed to be used in small groups with students as they work throughout. So the beginning of it, as you can see, is more background information for the educator, giving them an idea of how they should be working on this with their student, and working them through these directions, and then the directions for their students. This training resource would most likely be used for a second or fourth grade teacher or a math curriculum coach to support student learning on a specific skill with counting money and making change. It would be most likely utilized for intervention in a small group setting, one-on-one with a student who needs additional support. The components of the mini unit that teachers would work through are included and were previously shown. As I was reading through this mini unit, I instantly noticed how involved the student was during the activity and how it was designed to hopefully ensure that understanding was occurring. From my past experience in the classroom and working specifically now with math pedagogy, I believe that this is necessary to work with students in small groups to give them the individual and targeted support that they might need to really be able to understand the content being taught. Learning doesn't occur in a one-size-fits-all model, and educators must pull students and work with them in small groups to give them the individualized support. Because of this, I will be looking into teaching and learning for understanding, as well as learning by doing, focusing on goal-based scenarios for this project. Specifically, I focus on Perkins and Unger's position on learning and understanding, and the 4 elements included: generative topics, understanding goals, understanding performances, and ongoing assessment. Their position on understanding shows that it goes beyond just being able to recall information or a fact, but being able to truly have knowledge, make it one's own, and apply it in thoughtful action. And this is exactly what this mini unit aimed to do. So as students were working through these kind of key elements on the left-hand side, we're focused on, while also including some goal-based scenarios woven into these lessons for students. Overall, I do believe that this mini unit did a good job with including these learning theories in the design. However, like any instructional material, there are always strengths and recommendations for improvements. So a main strength, something that I felt was really helpful, was the rich opportunity for students to dive deeper into content. So that went well with generative topics. So the concept of money allows for that opportunity for students to explore it deeper, apply those previously learned math skills in a hands-on way. So as students were playing the game, playing with those cards, working with a partner or a group of students to solve, they were experiencing that. The mini unit also allows for students to have direct practice with making change, which allowed students to go to that next level of learning. There was a part in there that included students to have them make change, encouraging them to use it with a $10 bill and $20 bill. As previously mentioned, money is a concept that is highly connectable and allows students to see beyond what they're currently working on. This is something that aligns very heavily with the generative topics part of learning for understanding. The next part that was a big strength of this was it being a hands-on opportunity for students. So they were really able to highlight their understanding through the application of the skill. That part goes hand in hand with understanding performances for students as well. And finally, the last strength that I noticed that I wanted to highlight is that ongoing assessment piece that's happening. There's a recording sheet that is included for students, which they are responsible for filling out and completing as a part of their assessment. So educators can use this data collected from students' work to identify students that they may need to continue to work with and support, whether that be one-on-one or in small groups. The unit also encourages educators to have conversations with different groups of students during the activity, hearing their thought processes, assessing them informally throughout work time, and just getting an overall reflection from the student. One of the biggest recommendations to kind of add to this unit that would make it really a well-rounded piece is objectives. There were no clearly defined objectives. It actually surprised me for this unit. So I have a few suggested objectives that would have been really helpful, easy, and simple to include in this to make sure that both students and educators know what to expect and they're able to make sure that the actions are meeting a tangible goal that they have. So want students to be able to demonstrate making change with accuracy in a small group setting, or students will be able to utilize addition and subtraction strategies with 90% accuracy or whatever percentage that teacher finds acceptable to solve problems. By simply adding in that objective, it really helps to kind of align that learning for understanding, making sure that all four of those pieces are tied together. And at the end, students are walking away from this mini unit, from this lesson, from this activity, with knowing not just how to do something, but the why behind it. Overall, Bridges Math Learning Making Change does a great job of being clear and concise with teaching students how to make change. Many of the design components of learning by doing and learning for understanding are included in the mini unit, although there is definitely room for improvements by adding in those goals and those objectives. With the addition of those, this resource could be easily improved. All around, I believe that this is a well-designed instructional resource that educators would benefit from using and implementing with their students. Thank you for your time.